Greetings from the black holes of Dakota Territory, the United States of Amateur Radio. Stan Gibilisco here with another little video, obviously, a faces video, obviously, about electromagnetic pulse versus radio frequency interference. Actually, the two have a lot in common, and when it comes to automotive electronics, they are no stranger to radio frequency interference, or RFI, caused by amateur radio equipment. Now, I can recall when I had my truck, Big Number 8, in 2014, and went to Wyoming for a whole month. I learned something very interesting. Now, that radio was powered off of a marine battery inside of the vehicle, not the vehicle electrical system itself, so that it was not coupled into the vehicle electrical system. The only RF that the vehicle electronics would get exposed to, or effects, would come from the antenna, or one of the antennas, mounted on the lip of the truck deck. But I found something very interesting occurred on the way down to Spearfish, probably to Walmart, in order to get some groceries, etc., etc. On 15 meters, when I ran about more than 30 watts, and I was driving down the highway, the speedometer and the tachometer would kick all the way down to 0 as soon as I hit the key. Now, that was sort of like a little radio frequency pulse at 21 megahertz. Apparently, the automotive electronics has an inherent resonant frequency at 21 megahertz. In any case, my theory is that the computer in the vehicle was being affected by that RF and gave out false indications, because the vehicle never lurched, it never hesitated, it never did anything at all to suggest that the RPMs, or the speed, had dropped to 0. If they had, as fast as those meters indicated, you'd have had to scrape me off the windshield of that car with a spatula and then clean it up with carbon tetrachloride or something, because that was a dramatic indication that RF can get into automotive electronics, and particularly the computer, and mess it up. But the computer was not fried permanently. It was just disrupted when that signal was present. My solution to that problem was to reduce power below 30 watts on 21 megahertz. Isn't it strange how the 21 megahertz ham band seems plagued out of proportion by RFI problems, or is that just my imagination? But anyway, an electromagnetic pulse might affect vehicle electronics, truck vehicle, car vehicle, motorcycle vehicle, whatever, Stanley Mobile, in such a way as to cause the electronics to malfunction while the pulse occurs and just after, but not be destroyed. It would recover almost instantly. I don't believe I've heard that possibility very widely broadcast. But again, now I'm getting into academic speculation, like so many people do. But this was a real honest-to-goodness experiment. It just happened by accident. But the readings went down to 0, but the vehicle didn't really behave in the way that was suggested by the instrument panel. Obviously interference. An EMP is really just a powerful, brief form of RFI. EMPs tend to produce a lot of radio frequency energy over a broad band, and some of that energy is liable to fall into natural resonant frequencies of vehicle electronics. As to what actually happens, again, experiments are needed to find out that this was, in fact, a real experiment. I witnessed it, swear on a stack of radio amateur handbooks by the ARRL that it's true. And that truck eventually I had to sell to pay medical bills. I kind of regret it because it was a tremendous mobile radio station. I have other videos that show it. But I still have the radio, I still have the battery, and I can still set up a station and arrange for it to work in the absence of power for an extended period of time. That's all from here for now, but I think I just might note that disruption of vehicle electronics does not mean destruction. Disruption is not the same as disruption. Stan Gibilisco, proprietor and operator of amateur radio station W1GV, Whiskey 1, good vibrations, saying 73, which means best regards in ham radio jargon, and so long, which in my favorite mode translates to da-da-da-da-da-da.